the Disruptive Environments Micro Chest Rig, otherwise known as the D3CRM. This is probably one of our more configurable products because of the insert system that it has in here, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I want to kind of go over all the features of the chest rig, and then we'll talk about the family of configurable inserts that can go into the system. If you look at it, it's basically sized to fit 3 mags, or like a triple mag pouch. On the front of that, we have a GP panel that's pretty noticeable with the loop field on the front for identifiers. When you open that up, it's kind of comparable in size to our D3CR heavy chest rig admin panel. Same configuration on the inside with these elastic loops so you can put your own med kits and break them apart. You can put your maps and compasses and protractors. You can put laser rangefinders in here. Whatever you can fit inside of this pouch, you can put a lot of stuff in that. On the sides, you'll notice 2 of our multi-mission handgun or general purpose kind of pouches on the side. These are on all of our chest rigs. And you can see I've got a SIG mag in there right now, but it will take single, double stacked mags. It'll take flashlights and multi-tools. So if I want to replace that with the flashlight, I see a lot of guys carrying that right there because it's nice and easy to get into action. On the other side, we've got a Gerber multi-tool on there. The bungees that come with these 2 pouches will be inside your kit, so you can put them on if you so choose. You don't need to put them on, but if you like that extra retention, depending on what you put in that pouch, they're there for you. On the back side of this thing, we've got our back panel that covers a complete full hook and loop field. All right, now let me show you the family of insert pouches that go inside of the D3CR Micro. This is our most popular one, the triple rifle mag insert. Now, when you get this, you're going to have your triple insert here, and the 3 MP2s are already attached into it. You'll see how the back of the MP2 inserts into the dog ears or the laser cut tabs, and the front is also retained inside of the insert. That way, the MP2 never gets in the way. It always expands properly and keeps the right tension for you. Now, when I insert this, I actually put the magazines in it. I build it all up. And then what I'm going to do is take some cardboard. You may have seen this trick. I've got all this Velcro in here, and it's going to get a little sticky as it goes down inside. I've got some plastic inserts. These are just the trainingsites.com things we use for, hey, here's your front sight, right? But they also work for this as well, and they fit perfectly into the Micro. I'm then going to take that insert and then slide it right down inside. Push it all the way down, where you can see the Velcro lines matching up on either side and the fronts. And when you've got it in a good position, pull your back out, pull your front out, squeeze it, work it around, and there is your triple rifle mag insert. The next insert is the SMG insert. You can see I've got 4 HK MP5 mags in here. Also fits any Colt standard type mags like the SMG Colts. You'll see like some of the Noveske guns that are running those, which we run a lot. You'll see the MPX, which we love running as well. They will fit in here. The only mags that probably won't fit in here are going to be your really big, like your 10 millimeter MP5 mags or 40 cal mags. And I think that's it. But most of the other, the KP9 for the VCHAS, the Russian, KUSA version, those are great for this. So it fits most of them, and it does have the elastic on the sides of them, so they will expand and conform to the magazine that you choose. Again, just like the triple insert, once I've got them in the right place, I drop in my plastic, slide it down inside, checking and seating the hook and loop on either side. It's in the right place. It's where I want it. Pull out the back, pull out the front, squeeze it together. And we made sure we got plenty of space. That way, if I'm reverse grabbing or I'm coming up with a finger grab or however I want to do it, they come out perfectly. You can see that re-indexed nicely as well with the elastic. There's your SMG insert. All right, now let's talk about the singles and double line that we have of inserts. Now you can configure this really any way you want. If you're not using the triples or the quad subgun, and you want to have like a combination of pistol mags, which is our MUP line here. We have a single MUP and a double MUP. Okay, that's the multi utility pouch, and that means we can take and put our multi-tools, our flashlights, or our magazines in them. Okay, I'm going to just take a guess here. I'm going to go with a double MUP and a double M4. Okay, and then I'll show you the single M4 and the the double 762 next. What I'm going to do is just like earlier, take my cards, insert them into the micro. I'm going to go ahead and slide the mags far right, press them over, and then I'll take a double pistol MUP here, turn my mags around because I'm right-handed, and I'm going to squeeze them right down inside, and it'll be a perfect fit. Now you need to align them to where they're sitting right on top of the Velcro line. Make sure the 5.56 doesn't go down there too deep. Pull your rear side out, pull your front side out, and there you go. You've got a nice clean configuration, 2 mags, 2 pistols. Now, of course, I could take the pistols out and put a flashlight in there. I could take that out, put the multi-tool in there. Some people stuff tourniquets in there, whatever you want to do. Now, that's that configuration. If I want to take out the MUP, set them up aside because we're done with using that. Now you have an option here. If you wanted to run a radio like it's got a Baofeng, but if you're running like a Motorola, a lot of law enforcement guys work this way, and some smaller radios in the military you might be able to fit in here. Now you can just throw it right into that void that's there, and once that's in, you can take our laser cut. This is basically like a 1-wrap material, super thin, so you don't have a big chunk of hook and loop there. And of course you have the knot on the end. You would size that appropriately. You're going to slide that down inside. Your retainer strap goes over the top of the radio, slide it down inside, and then you would adjust your tension just like that. If you don't want it free floating, you could take the single rifle mag. You could even take the MP2 out of it if you want to. Some radios actually work with the MP2. And now you can slide that in there. And now the radio will fit a little more snug if you want that. Some people just run that with no retention. I'd rather run this configuration with the single M4/radio now, insert with your bungee tab. Okay, so that's again a really good kind of loadout for law enforcement. I've seen a lot of guys, especially in LE. When I was in LE, you don't need a lot of carbine mags. I always have one on the gun, one on my side, and one on my vest. And I would take this out and put a med kit down in here. Some guys have fit tasers depending on the model down in here, or tourniquets or other things like that. So that way you have a really good array of equipment in the event you got to grab and throw it on super fast. Great piece of kit to throw into your passenger seat or in a bag, go bag in the back of the car. Okay, another insert combination. Before I get into some of the bigger heavy mags, maybe you got some binos. Now, of course, binos come in all shapes and sizes. I put the retention bungee down inside. So I've had a lot of guys that like to hike and camp and are avid bird watchers, maybe if you're into that. You could take and run your binos in a radio or binos in an extra mag in here. Depending on how it fits, you got to measure that out, okay? Because we don't have a specific spec on binos yet. Heavy mags. We have the single and the double 762. I've got the 2 singles here right now. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just drop them in, go all the way to the right lateral limit here on the micro. Maybe squeeze that. The singles are a little easier to get in. I'll take and stick the second one in there, and you can see that they still have a little gap here, so that's perfect for the single MUP. Whether you wanted to put a handgun mag in there, multi-tool, flashlight, squeeze it down, and then you can see you got a perfect little heavy package there. So if you had a mag in the gun, 2 mags on your front, mag on your side, that's 4 heavy mags for a really good, streamlined, efficient loadout. Now, just like all of our other pouches, they're adaptable. I've got the 7.62s in here. I can take a mag out, AK mag, 7.62 by 39. Goes in with the MP2 that's currently inside of that heavy pouch. 5.45. Also fits into the 5.56 singles and doubles. So not only do you have the ability to configure any way you want with all the MUPs and the singles and the doubles, you also still have that magazine versatility as well. Now, we're going to get into the accessories. Chest rig accessories. Now, all the accessories that I'm about to speak to are compatible with all of our chest rigs and placards that we have. So whether you're running a micro or the heavy like this or the X, or you're running our MOLLE placard or TRMP placard, both of those placards can also be turned into micro chest rigs. So the best way to do this, because there's a lot of stuff here, is to talk about where you would put them. Well, we know we put things on the bottom. Okay, we know we put things on the back, and we know we can put things on the side. So we're going to start with bottom first. Now, This is the OG hanger, okay? The hanger, this is probably between 13 and 14 years old. This is the one that kind of started all the hanger movements. I was a big fanny pack guy. It's a big thing in my community, in the reconnaissance community. Put our survival, our radios, our medical kit in, especially if we're doing airborne jumps, we lose all our stuff. We still have something with us. And as we evolved, we wanted to keep that gear on us so we could just hang it underneath the plate carrier or a chest rig. So this OG hanger, if I was to put this on the back of all of our chest rigs, we have a panel. You pull off that Cordura panel, and if you want to continue to use it, you can. I'll talk about some of the stuff you can put on the back, like our back pads, here in a second. I'm going to take the hanger, I'm going to place it center on this one. You can also offset them left or right if you want, because there are some other smaller accessories you could put down there. And then there's your hanger now. And you can see the back is clean once I put that panel back on. Our next hanger is the 5-banger hanger. So you could probably tell why we call it that. Here is 5 rounds of HEDP for 40 millimeter, whether you're running them out of a M203 or a 320, or if you have some other 40 millimeter launcher. Law enforcement guys or less lethal teams in the military can also run baton rounds, rubber stingers, all that stuff. They will all fit in here, and you can extend this up or down. So same concept, slap it on. I'm going to put this a little bit higher. Slap your back panel back on, and there's your 5-banger hanger. This thing is, you can see flush. When you start to load them, I can reach over and pop a round out, and you can see even being tight, it'll still pop out right into my hand, okay? I can also lower it if I need to. Our next hanger is the vertical MIL hanger. It's customizable. You can put whatever you want on there. I've seen guys put individual GP little pouches on here. I've seen frag pouches, so you could put 3 frags down here. You could put bigger general purpose, like a dump pouch that MIL's on, so that way you have a bigger like site exploitation bag, or like you like to put a lot of stuff on the front. Breachers can custom configure this. Even communications guys with hubs, you could tie in a hub with some one wrap Velcro and put your cable management on here. And also on the back, we've got this elastic sleeve for that cable management or breachers, stuffing your shock cord or your no-nell. You can do whatever. You can also, I've seen guys take a magazine and put a single mag back here. So you could have another hidden mag behind your hanger. Stick it on, put your panel back on or your back pad. There's your vertical MIL hanger. Our next hanger is a horizontal MIL hanger. This one's a little bit smaller than the vertical. You can see this being horizontal allows you to maybe put on a radio. You could put on another single rifle mag pouch. You could draw a magazine this way. You could take IS-lid, like a lot of the JTACs and military guys will put their IS-lid on here. Whatever you can fit horizontally in this configuration. Plus it also has the elastic on the back, so you can use your cable management and retain all that stuff. So there is your horizontal MIL hanger. Last are our smaller hangers. So with a larger system like this, I'll go ahead and throw both of them on there. This is our TQS. Got our TQS hanger. See your Cat 7 tourniquet in there. Got trauma shears on the back. There's actually 2 channels on the back. You could put a Sharpie, trauma shears, or if you wanted to put like a decompression needle in there, you certainly could. But that's got everything you need. So I can set that one on there. It also works on a belt as well. And then this is our dump pouch. Very simple, very lightweight dump pouch. Slap that on the back. Put your panel on. And there's your dump pouch and your tourniquet. If you need your dump pouch accessed, you get in here and pop that down, and you can see you have your dump pouch on your front. And then you can just stuff it back up and roll it back up when you're done. Okay, so that is a TQS and the dump pouch hanger. Okay, let's talk about the back now. So I'm going to go ahead and take my back panel off. And the first thing I would do if I bought a chest rig would be replace that panel with a breathable spacer mesh back pad. So now I got a lot more comfort, especially as we start to put more weight on. And we have a back pad for our X and heavy, so the quad cell, and we have a back pad for the micro. You can see the triple cell. And this also fits our TRMPs and our MIL chest rig. So micro, MIL, and TRMP for the small, D3CRX and heavy for the large. Now, we have a wedge family I'm going to show you next. The wedges are what we put on the back. The first one, and one of the older ones, because again, if we go back to the history of the D3CR platform, it was designed as a small micro system that would work inside of vehicles mostly and in CQB. But if I was a vehicle guy, which I drove quite a bit, and being a lead driver, the primary weapon system is your car. But you always got to have your handguns on you, and it's hard to draw when you're always sitting in the driver's seat, especially if you're at a checkpoint or something. So a lot of guys would take and put that handgun wedge on the back so they could draw their handgun from right here and immediately extend the gun out the window, for example. Now this is going to take some ingenuity, I guess. We have an old holster that's in here that we just put Velcro around the side, and it kind of nicely goes over that. It may look like something difficult to wear, but once the chest rig starts to wrap nicely around your body with the straps on, it actually conforms pretty nice. And a lot of guys like putting their handguns there. But again, I would only put it there if that was my specific job that required me to put it there. The next wedge we have is the double mag wedge. So you can see I got two 5.56 mags in here. Currently, we only make a 5.56 wedge. And you do the same thing. You'd place it on the back, and you could hike it up or hike it down. I hike them just a little bit higher, which if you look at the seams and you place the seams of the Velcro together on the back and you line them up right here across the top, that will place those mags about 3/4 or maybe almost an inch higher. And then when I put my back pad on, you can see I now have 6 magazines, and I can still get to those fairly easy even with the chest rig strap on. I took them off just so I could install these easy for you. The next wedge is an admin wedge. So the admin wedge, I'm going to go ahead and place in the center, right between the straps, line it up seam to seam, take and put my back pad panel back on real quick. And now you can see easy access right behind your mags, even through your harnesses. You can get your right in the rain, your protractors, your maps, maybe some pens, whatever you need to put in there. Okay, so the admin sleeve is something you should probably never leave home without. And our last wedge is a little tiny wedge, and that's our trauma shear. Now this is the smaller trauma shear compared to the larger trauma shear, which I like to throw this shear on a hanger or something so I can actually have that stuck to the big Velcro field down below. And the smaller shears are really nice to have that fit on a wedge because it's hard to fit those big shears back there because they get in the way of mag reloads. So I even have the admin sleeve on here, and what I can do is I can put it on with the sleeve, put it in the center. So I've got my shears right there, kind of nice and tucked away, very efficient. I can also move it over to the far right side so it clears the straps. And you can see now I've got shears back here I can pull out and insert them back in. It has a mouth opening on it, so the shears go in and out very easily. And they retain very well. Okay, we've talked bottom, back, and now let's talk sides. Because let's say this just isn't enough space for all the gear that you need to carry, because sometimes you know we got to carry more. So what we did is we developed a side saddle system, which is a really simple, seamless pair of side saddles that literally pop right on the side. All you do is take your buckle off of the side of the D3CR chest rig or the placards. All of our buckles are repair buckles, which has a little slit in them, so you can pop them right off. I would then take and pop that buckle off and put it right on the side saddle, and all I just did was extend it, okay? So let's say, and before I move on, if you have any questions on this, there's an entire video just on the side saddles themselves, which goes into all the details, all the installation, how the G-hooks work on the inside, and why it's constructed the way it is. So go ahead and check that. I'll put the link down below so you guys can hit that if you're interested in the side saddles. So I got my D3CRX chest rig here, and I'm going to go ahead and put my side saddles on because I want to carry my PVS 31s over on this side, and I want to put a med mag mount with my trauma kit on the other side. And so here's what that looks like. All right, so there it is. Now I put my wings on. I've got my trauma kit. I've got my PVS 31s in our GP saw pouch. You can also put saw nut sacks in it. And of course, I never leave home without my 40 mic, so I had to throw the 5-banger hanger on there. So yeah, as you can see, I've got a seamless mount on the back. There is 0 seams or buckles that are connected, so this will wrap fully around your body. And on the front, you can see there's 0 seams in here as well. The last harness system we're going to talk about is also a harness system, and that's our classic flat pack. If you guys are interested in knowing more about the flat pack, we've got an entire video on that, but the flat pack was designed to not only be just an EDC backpack, also mollies onto the back of a plate carrier. We have 2 different sizes, a small, this is the plus size, and also to be in a patrol configuration like this. So I've got my side saddles on, I've got my harness, which just comes with the flat pack. All you do is take your X or your H off, plug in your flat pack straps. You can see you got your sternum strap, camelback or cable management on there. And then in the flat pack comes with extra side straps. These are your 2 bottom straps that connect into the shoulder straps if you were to wear it like an everyday backpack. And then these 2 extra ones come with the flat pack so you can have double side support there. So that is all of the harness systems, guys. If you have any more questions on our disruptive environments, chest rig lines or placard lines, or even the flat packs and other stuff that you've seen in this video, feel free to put your comments and questions down below. We'll do our best to get to them. And also you can hit our customer service at haleystrategic.com. And of course, you can always go to our website at haleystrategic.com and look at all the descriptions and specifications and the plethora of other pouches and options that we have that you can put on top of all this stuff. So guys, thank you for joining me today. Travis Haley, stay sharp, be safe, and die free.